What's up y'all, Jmaculate here. In today's video, I'll be going over microtiming methods on the Dirtywave M8, which can help you construct patterns with unique rhythms. The M8 doesn't have a parameter that's specifically called microtiming, but there are a few ways to achieve this effect. Let's take a look. First, let's talk about what microtiming is. Microtiming is a feature on step sequencers that allows you to put notes between steps. So for a basic pattern where there are 16 steps, there are one of 16 places that you can put your kick drum, snare drum, and other sounds. But with microtiming, instead of only being able to choose one of 16 places for your sounds, you can also add a short time to wait before the note plays. On many devices, this is represented as a percentage, 0 to 100%, which can move the note forwards or later by a certain amount, depending on the capabilities of the device. So a 50% microtiming would put the note halfway between the step you have it on and the next step. 99% microtiming would put the note nearly on the next step. And 1% microtiming would put the note an almost indistinguishable amount after the step it's programmed on. The simplest way to get microtiming is to use the delay effect, which allows you to delay actions like note triggers or other FX commands. The unit of measure that you can delay actions by is called ticks, and by default, there are 6 ticks per step. So adding delay 01 to the FX column will delay the note by 1 tick, delay 03 by 3 ticks, etc., and delay 06 by 6 ticks, which will start the note on the next step. You can determine what this equates to in microtiming percentage by dividing 100, as in 100%, by the number of ticks, 6. 100 divided by 6 is about 16. So each value corresponds to about a 16% microtiming. So let's hear how this works. First, we'll listen to a quantized pattern I created with no delay commands. Now I'll add some delay commands to nudge the notes off the grid by 1 or 2 ticks. So the rhythm is starting to sound like it has a little bit more of a natural feel. But if your sequences call for something more precise than 16% microtiming increments, you can increase the number of ticks per step to get more control using this method. To do this, go to the groove settings page by holding Shift and then pressing up from the phrase page. From here, you can change these values from 06 to 0C, so there are twice as many ticks per step, 12 instead of 6. But as you can see, this causes the phrase to play much more slowly. So we need to double the tempo of the project for the playhead to move through the sequence at the intended rate. So now the BPM is 180, but you can see the playhead moves through the sequence at the same rate it would at 90 BPM. So with all that set up, now we can change the delay parameter to any value between 0.1 and 0B, to move the note between steps with further precision. Now each delay value corresponds to about an 8% microtiming, with delay 06 becoming the halfway value between the steps. And you could also quadruple the tempo to get 4 times the number of ticks per step, and therefore even more precision with your delay commands. There are also ways to achieve a microtiming effect using tables. Generally, the sequencer moves through the table at a rate relative to ticks, which is called the table tick speed. However, there's a special table tick speed value, FF, in which the sequencer moves through each table row at a rate of 200 Hz, or 5 milliseconds. And a 5 millisecond increment is much more precise than a single tick. With the default groove settings at 90 BPM, each step in a 16-step sequence is about 170 milliseconds. Since delay 01 is a 16% microtiming, that pushes the note back about 27 milliseconds, as opposed to the 5 from each table row. This is all very conceptual, so let's take a look at an example. The table configuration here comes from Discord user Impbox. What this is doing is playing the sample at 0 volume at a rate of tick FF, 200 Hz or 5 milliseconds, on each row, starting at row 2. So the sample plays at row 2, waits 5 milliseconds, then plays at row 3, waits 5 milliseconds, then plays at row 4, waits 5 milliseconds, etc. until it gets to this command at the bottom, the retrigger 10 command, which plays it at full volume once it reaches this point. So to use this to adjust the timing of your notes, you have to add a table hop command with a value between 0.2 and 0D to the notes in your phrase that you want to start later. Table hop 0.2 would result in the longest delay because it would cause your sample to pass 12 rows of the table that each last 5 milliseconds, resulting in a 60 millisecond delay. And table hop 0D would provide the shortest delay because it would only pass one row of the table, resulting in a 5 millisecond delay. Table hop 0 or table hop 01 will play at a normal start time because of the hop 1 command on row 01. Table hop 0E and 0F will also play at a normal start time because of the second hop command. And any values at 10 and above will behave in the same way as their 0 counterparts do. For example, 02 will do the same thing as 12. And another thing worth mentioning is that you have to set up this table per instrument. So right now we're looking at the table for my snare instrument, but we'll have to add this to the kick and the hi-hat to get the microtiming on all three. But it's as simple as copying the entire table by holding Shift, then pressing Option a few times, then pressing Option once you have everything selected. Then you can hold Shift and press Edit to paste it. The table hop command is abbreviated THO. Let's hear how it sounds in the sequence. I'll start with the kick drum. You can also combine the table hop command with the delay command if table hop 02 isn't pushing the note back enough. The delay command takes priority, so it'll push the note back however many ticks you set it to. Then the table hop command delays the note by an additional amount of 5 millisecond increments. Since this is such a useful table configuration for microtiming, I recommend saving it as an instrument preset so you can access it quickly without needing to build it manually each time. To save it as a preset, first go to the table you created and select all the contents the way we copied it earlier. Then go to an empty instrument slot and paste in the table configuration, holding Shift and then pressing Edit. Lastly, on the instrument page, give the instrument a name and select Save. Now you can load it whenever you need to add microtiming. I know the table method doesn't seem as straightforward as using the delay FX command, but once you get it set up, you have a very flexible and precise way to move notes around in your sequence, and saving the instrument as a preset makes it that much easier to load up and get rockin'. If you prefer one method over the other, or there's some other way that you're getting microtiming on the M8, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. And that does it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.